All right, so earlier in the program, we talked about the Terry McLaurin rumors that are out there. And listen, I'm not an idiot. I've been doing this 30 years like you guys. I understand negotiations. We've had plenty of them ourselves. I think Terry McLaurin's going to re-sign here. In fact, I'll be stunned if he doesn't. I mean,
so why are you scared
stunned.
then?
It was a little unsettling to hear. Even now, John Keim's point is well taken. We haven't heard Terry say he was upset. But if you take it as a truth that Terry is upset with the direction of the negotiations,
you start to get a little concerned.
That gets me a little bit scared. And I know Cakes says he wouldn't be upset if he heard that Ovi was upset.
You think he's lying about that?
I think he's not being honest with us. I think he would be upset if he thought Ovi was upset. Because I think Ovi is his Terry McLaurin.
All right, to use the correct words, just to back up. Jordan Schultz from Fox Sports, who's made a lot of headlines, it seems like, the last 6 months. He got into that spat with
Ian Rappaport.
At
a Starbucks, conveniently.
Yes.
Right.
But Jordan Schultz used the word frustrated, not upset, that Terry McLaurin is frustrated with the lack of talk. My interpretation, and I think John kind of backed me up when he said Terry hadn't said anything, is this is coming from his agent.
Right, because Jordan Schultz is reaching out to his agent and saying, hey, how are the Terry negotiations going? He's going, and his agent probably responds, well, we're not done yet. You know, it's a little frustrating it hasn't gotten done yet, but it'll probably get done eventually. And then Jordan Schultz probably goes, all right, Terry McLaurin, frustrated. That reports on.
I bet the agent didn't say it that way. I bet you the agent was way more negative. I bet you the agent said
possibly,
and maybe the agent's putting words in Terry's mouth.
Part of this too is about Jordan Schultz. Okay, it's the offseason. He wants some clicks and eyeballs on his material and his content.
I understand.
So that's part of what's going on here too.
I'll just say I'm being me and honest. And again, I'm not naive to negotiations. I understand negotiations very well. It's a little disconcerting if you're a Skins fan, if you think there's any validity potentially to Terry being upset, because he is a key ingredient to this football team.
He's a key ingredient.
And I love him.
And I balk a little bit at the Ovi comparison because Ovi is, let's be honest, he's the greatest player ever in the history of the franchise.
So Terry's not even worthy of the comparison?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying Terry's not the greatest player ever to put on that uniform.
I'm just saying.
Ovi is the greatest player that will ever wear a Capitals uniform.
I understand. I'm not disputing that. You get so
triggered him.
I'm just
bringing up Ovi for you. That's why I bring up Ovi for you.
It's like you got triggered by Angel Reese earlier when
if
Valdez
if you thought there was maybe some validity to Ovi being upset, I think you would be upset. And I'm not convinced Terry is upset, but the mere mention of him maybe being upset is upsetting.
Maybe he should be above reproach to the point that this is actually insulting by the team to go through this dance to Terry McLaurin. Like, don't make him go through this dance where he's holding out.
I agree 100%.
800-636-1067.
Well, also it could be, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Maybe Terry just doesn't want to be at the OTAs either. And he's such an established veteran. We know he's a great team guy, but he's just like, you know what? I've been in the league 6 or 7 years.
No.
I don't need to be at OTAs.
I'm not worried about him not being at the OTAs. I'm going to get my deal done right
before we go to training camp, and I'm good.
No, I have no problem with him not being there. Standard. My problem is the report he's unhappy.
But you don't know.
I don't want him to ever be unhappy.
Okay, but you don't know where that's coming from.
I agree.
Kind of do.
I agree. It's probably
BS.
From John's insinuation, the agent might be a little bit of a wild card here. And you know, the team, he insinuated, if you listen to our interview we did, you can listen to it on the thingy. What's it called?
The Odyssey app.
The Odyssey app.
Rewind.
If you listen to it on the rewind thing, you can tell that it sounds like his agent is maybe a little bit difficult. The team has had difficult maybe negotiations with him in the past.
To be fair, Keim didn't say anything. We gathered that.
Yeah,
that was our interpretation.
You can tell from the insinuation.
There was definitely a pause.
Right.
He was trying to figure out what to say.
So maybe the agent's wacky. And I believe that. That's probably true. But I'm just telling you, at first glance, when I saw that, I did shudder a little bit. Oh, Terry's unhappy? Please. That can't be. I mean, I can't have him unhappy.
800-636-1067 is the number.
Look at this gushing over here.
This is why you can't fall in love with players. You root for the team, not the player.
You root for the laundry. You root for the uniform.
Eventually I do, but I just love this guy.
You realize DK Metcalf was traded who is the same age as Terry.
Yeah.
Just as productive, if not more productive than Terry.
No, if they trade him, I'll cry.
Well, it might be the best
It
football.
would be equivalent to someone kidnapping one of my children.
It might be the best football move for the team.
But you do get emotional, though.
By the way,
you get emotional.
Metcalf is younger than Terry.
By a year or something.
Valdez,
right?
I think 2, maybe 3.
The same draft class.
But maybe 2 or maybe 3 years.
I think it would be like football's different than baseball in terms of the length of a career. But Terry is such a heart and soul guy for the team and has produced, even with all the chaos, even with the terrible quarterbacks, he's been there. And then he finally gets them winning again. He has his best season. I think it would be akin to moving on from Cal Ripken in his prime.
I agree.
You go, oh, it's a baseball decision. Well, no, he's beyond baseball. He's the organization.
Right.
You compare Terry McLaurin to Cal Ripken.
Yes.
Come on.
Kinda. No, I'm not saying he's the greatest Redskin ever. He's the greatest.
No. Adam Peters is not going to step into a bad contract because we feel sorry for Terry McLaurin because he had to catch balls from Carson Wentz. That's not going to happen. You're not going to reward Terry for years of service.
Yes, they are.
But Adam Peters,
100%.
Then that's GM malpractice.
Peters didn't draft.
That's GM malpractice.
He didn't draft.
I know, but they're going to reward him because he's a key part of them winning games.
No. Jayden Daniels is a key part of them winning games.
If he didn't have McLaurin to throw to, his numbers wouldn't be as good as they were. McLaurin had freaking 14 touchdowns. Who else is he going to throw touchdowns to last year?
I don't know. Plug and play.
You can't do that. You know that. Certain players are better than others. He's going to take care of him. It's just a matter of how many years.
I think I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what my blink instinct when I read that report, it scared me because I never even considered. I consider Terry such a team guy that I just thought he would, and he will. But just the thought of it gets me scared.
Well. I want to find out if the Commanders fans listening to the show right now are as scared as you.
Nobody is.
I would agree with that.
Nobody is.
You might have convinced them.
I don't think it's a far off possibility.
If they trade him,
I just don't think
it would be catastrophic. I don't care if they got 100 first-round picks. It would be catastrophic.
I would trade him for 100 first-round picks.
Would you trade Ovi for 100 first-round picks?
Right now, you would.
No, in the prime of his career.
In the prime of his career, 100 first-round picks? Yes. Because I care about my team. I love Ovi. I care about the team more.
Yeah. You've fallen in love with players. You're not a fan of the Commander. You're a fan of Jayden. You're a fan of.
I'm a fan of both. I'm a fan of both.
You don't have a favorite player on the Ravens?
Listen.
No, I'm a fan.
You don't have a favorite
fan
player
of the team. If they
hold on a second. You used to have a Flacco sticker. Wasn't he your favorite guy?
I grew up.
Okay, so you do not have a favorite player.
I do not have a favorite player. I root for the purple and black.
Favorite team.
He loves Lamar.
If they traded Lamar tomorrow, I'd say
you'd be
next
distraught.
Man up.
You'd be distraught.
Next man up.
Well, they would trade him for a gigantic package of picks.
A big game.
I'm telling you how I feel.
You like play. I feel the same way because players come and go. You like them temporarily, but you have to understand that they're probably not going to be there forever. When the DK thing came about, and this is the comparison because their stats are very similar over the years, every Seahawks fan said, that's ridiculous. There's no way they trade DK Metcalf. He's a huge part of our franchise and our future. Unbeknownst to us, he had already demanded a trade. They were working on it. And then out of the blue, he gets traded.
Yeah, but you guys were also in a position.
That's a different scenario.
You guys were also in a position where JSN was coming on.
Right. Well,
the Commanders don't really have somebody like that. He's an old veteran on his last year of his contract.
I just think it's
different than Jackson Smith.
Now listen, if Terry demands a trade, that's a different story. I would be stunned if Terry demands a trade.
I'm not saying I don't see that happening, or that
I'll turn on him like you wouldn't believe if he demands a trade.
But that's your guy. You love Terry.
That's why it's
as long as he's wearing your laundry.
That's why you have to have the
uniform.
mindset that it's never permanent. Even Jayden, good chance he might leave this team someday.
That's fine. I'll deal with that when it comes. I'm just telling you. I felt this way about Max. Took me a while to get over it. Felt this way about Soto. Took me a while. Remember, I was wearing Padres hats. You guys don't remember.
I
was triggering every Nats fan.
I think I do remember that.
Because I was so bitter about us not keeping Soto.
Yeah.
Turns out they made a great deal.
You didn't feel like that about Harper. I know
Harper,
that. You weren't in love with Bryce.
Yeah, Harper was a little abrasive, but I would have rather had him.
Well, he didn't help win a World Series.
Sad,
That's
the one
why-
guy they kept was Strauss.
All right, 800
They rewarded him with that
636
contract.
1067. How do you feel about this news? Listen, I understand. I'm an emotional person. The realistic, the objective view is this is just standard negotiating, agent talking smack. That's going to get worked out, and I would bet all my money on it. It's going to get worked out. I'm just telling you, as an
But
emotional person,
you are a little scared.
it made me a little anxious when I saw the insinuation that Terry's unhappy.
Yeah.
All right, let's bang out a few calls. We'll take one here, and then we could take more when we come back. Let's go. Is it Samant? Samant called from Richmond. Hey, Samant, what's up? You're all with the jokes.
Hey, good morning, fellas. This is Samant from Richmond,
What's up?
and
Samant.
long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thanks, buddy.
And the biggest variable between the last negotiation for a contract versus now is the man got married this year. So his wife is in his ear telling him, hey, we got to get the bags now because this is going to be your big bump, and our family is going to depend on it. So I'm thinking that could be some factor.
Hold on.
His bag is going to be so big.
He's already coming off a 3-year, was it a $69 million contract? Okay. Like
he's got
and
money in the bank.
And he's a
got a
smart
massive
guy.
bag.
He's a smart dude already.
Yeah.
Like he's set for life already. This just is crazy money
This
territory.
is just about respect.
like he's
at this
fine.
point. Yeah.
Like it's not his wife in his ear saying, you know what, you got to hold out for
Right.
$33 million. Like he's not listening to his wife on this. He's listening to his agents. That's who he's paying to do the deal.
That's what could be scary.
Samant, are you concerned that this won't get done?
No, I'm thinking he knows he's the face of the franchise. I think, like you guys said, it's a
He's
matter
not
of
the face of the
principle.
franchise.
Jayden is the face at this point. There's no question.
Terry's number 2.
He's number 2.
He could be the next Daryl Green, be a lifetime committed player. So
Tressway number 3.
Trustway right up there.
Tressway.
We're big Trustway guys. All right, thank you,
Yeah, I'm
Samant.
not
Thank you.
concerned.
All right, Samant. Thanks, buddy.
For listening. I really appreciate it, pal. Thank you, buddy. All right, 800-636-1067. If you want to chime in. Listen, the realistic, objective thing is this is no big deal. It's June. Negotiations, they ebb and flow. No biggie. I'm just telling you, as a fan, when I saw the insinuation that Terry was upset, it did scare me a little bit, though. But I'm probably in the minority. 800-636-1067. Bang out your calls when we come back.